So you want to lift your Jeep Cherokee. There's several ways you can lift a Jeep XJ. There's a budget way. There's somewhere in between the budget way, like you have a little more to spend but not enough for a real lift kit. And there's just you can just go buy a lift kit. It just depends on your budget, on how much money you have, and what you can afford. And it all works just the same. And I'll be explaining the different rides, like the different ride qualities of the lifts. All right, first off is a Jeep Cherokee budget lift. Now, usually this is a puck in the front when you're cool spacers, and a bastard pack. A bastard pack is an S10 leaf spring, a Dodge Dakota, Ford Explorer. Where you get your lift from, the S10, the Ford Explorer, they're axle under. So when you take the main leaf of an S10, we'll say, and put it on top, it's going to give you more of an arch and lift your Jeep, which I done that. I used the main leaf out of an S10 and cut the eyes off and put it on my Jeep pack, and it's doing just fine. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the price. There's several videos on how to do this stuff. This is just an idea of how much money you'll be spending and how much money I actually spent doing it. So, right off the bat, I went to the junkyard and I tried to find Jeep Grand Cherokee from 95 to 98 V8 Jeep Grand Cherokee springs, the front springs that is. It has to be a V8. You can actually use them to actually get the lift for the front of your Jeep. Now, it just depends how wore out the springs are. Mine were kind of wore out and I only got like an inch and something. It wasn't very much, but it did help. And I got them, pretty cheap. I have a whole video on that stuff, what I actually paid for all of it. But, you can pick them up for somewhere around $30. Just depends where you're at. Or if you have a buddy that did a lift and on a Grand Cherokee and he could just give them to you, that'd be even better. To lift the front end up, I went and bought a puck. They call them a puck, a spring spacer, all kinds of different kinds. Now there's all kinds of different spring spacers out there. You can get the polyurethane ones. You can get ones that adjust. Now I recommend getting the ones you can adjust. Because if you get just the stationary pucks, you'll run into the problem I did. Because I did mine totally backwards. I lifted my Jeep totally backwards. I lifted the front first, which I should have never done. Then I lifted the back, and it left the front sagging. So I had to buy another puck because I was tight on money and I couldn't afford the adjustable ones. So if you're going to lift something the budget way, make sure you lift it from the back first. Now, the pucks, the spring spacers will run you from anywhere from $26 to $30. The 3-inch pucks are more, and the smaller you go, the less of the price. And when you get into the adjustable ones, I'll leave a link in the description to one of the adjustable ones. They run around, $200 and some dollars. I'm going to say like $260 for the adjustable ones. But they're nice because if you lift the back and your front's sagging, you can adjust it up. If you lift the back and your front's higher than the back, you can adjust it down with no problem. I think the adjustable ones go from anywhere from I think it's like an inch to 3.5, 3.7 inches. But they're pretty nice to have. If you stay tuned to the end of this video, I'll leave a video up where you can just click on it and go watch. I lifted a Jeep pretty cheap just to show you guys that I could lift a Jeep cheap and not have any problems with it. And it has been wheeled and it does just fine. To believe it or not, it actually rides a lot better than a rough country lift. I don't know what I done. I don't know. It's just because I used Frankenstein some stock parts with it, but it still rides really good for what it is. When you go to lift a Jeep, I hear this all the time. What do I need for a 3-inch lift? Well, I lifted my Jeep 3.5 inches, pretty much. That's the overall, after it's settled and everything. I lifted my Jeep 3.5 inches. The only thing I did was had leaf springs for the back. I did my bastard pack, but if you got, a regular leaf spring, 3-inch leaf springs, that's all I had. Didn't have to extend no brake lines, nothing. For the front, lifted 3.5 inches, same as the back. I got them almost perfect with each other. I did not have to extend any lines, nothing. I have not had anything wore out yet. So I always get that question a lot. What do you need for a 3-inch lift? Basically, all you need is however you're going to do it. Just for a long story short, front coil springs, rear leaf spring. You cannot use stock sway bars. I don't run sway bars. Some people say it's dangerous, you'll die. I've been running those sway bars for 2 years, and it's not illegal down here. I don't see the big deal. It does sway a little bit, but where I got V8 coil springs and a puck, it holds it pretty tight and good shock on the front. It holds it good. Now, when you get in the 4-inch lifts and higher, you're going to need extended brake lines, a slip yoke eliminator, drop brackets for your transfer case, adjustable control arms, a track bar, drop pitman arm. The higher you go, the more parts you got to buy. Now, when you get into your more expensive lifts, you can buy the whole kits. I mean, if you got the money, just go ahead and pound it out for a new lift kit. It comes with everything you'd ever need, or you can get basic lift kits. It just comes with a spring pack and the front coils. Now I'm going to talk about the don'ts when you lift your Cherokee. You do not want to use lift blocks in the back. I know you can do it to old Chevys and the new Chevy trucks and the new Dodges and all that. Do not use lift blocks on the back of a Cherokee. Maybe an inch you can get by with it, but it's a big no-no. Just don't even do it. Even with aftermarket spring packs, it tends to be a hassle. I've seen whole rear ends just snap. It's just the way it is. Well, not the rear end snap, but the whole rear ends just snap underneath a Jeep. But when you use a block on the rear end of a Cherokee with the stock leaves, they're weak anyway. I don't care who you are, you never get a stock Cherokee with good leaf springs unless somebody has replaced them. They're usually flat. And when you add a block to that, yeah, it'll lift it, but it puts pressure this way, and eventually it's just going to snap. And you can get online and look at all kinds of pictures. I know a lot of people get on Google, and they get on Google's side, and they start like, oh yeah, Google said this, I'm not doing this. This is by experience. Do not use blocks on the back. You can get a Rusty's off-road lift kit for somewhere around with the shocks and the rear leaf springs and the front shock or the front coil springs, about $400 some. Rough country, it's a little more. I think it's around $500-600. Now another thing is, do not waste your money on add-a-leafs. I don't care what company they're from. Don't waste your money on add-a-leaf lift kits. Because, yeah, the front spacer's fine, but when you put an add-a-leaf on your stock Cherokee pack, it's not like doing the S10, the S10 bastard pack. A lot of people say, yeah, it's the same thing. No, I've seen add-a-leafs just sag over time, just like a normal Cherokee. I know a guy that's got a add-a-leaf on his Cherokee, and I put my bastard lift on the same time he put his rough country add-a-lift on, and his rear end is already sagging and mine ain't yet. So that just goes to show you, don't even bother with the add-a-leaf. If you can, save some money or do the bastard pack. It's just a waste of money. The add-a-leaf is just a waste of money. My opinion on the drop shackles. Got the 2 holes. Don't put those on a stock Cherokee leaf pack to get a lift. It'll lift it for like 5 months, and it's just going to fold right back flat. It's a waste of money. Yeah, they're cheap, like $20, but go ahead and make the investment. Throw them in a drawer, throw them in your garage. When you get a good lift kit, go ahead and stick them on because they're good to have. They're a lot better than the stock ones. But I don't recommend putting them on a stock Cherokee leaf pack because it'll just flatten it out more and you'll get more sagging. Because the Cherokees tend to have, like I said, a crappy leaf spring on the back. I mean, there is thousands of ways you can lift a Cherokee, and Google is your friend. I just wanted to tell you that you could lift a Cherokee cheap and reasonably and still go wheeling. Just someone that has experience. You get on Google and people are typing and you don't know if they have experience or not. I have videos where I have experience with the lift and how it's doing, and I'm still updating on it, and it's doing just fine. Now with the rough country lifts, one thing I hear all the time is, I lifted my Jeep and it rides like a corn cob wagon. Well, you lifted your Jeep. I mean, it's not a diesel truck that's a nice ride. It's a lightweight SUV. You just lifted it. You put thicker springs on it, taller springs, and it's gonna ride a little rough. It's just something you'll have to get over. But like I said, when I did my bastard pack, it changed it a little bit. It's a little bit rough, but not as rough as my Project Jeep. My Project Jeep has a 3-inch rough country lift, and that thing will rattle the door panels clear off your Jeep. But hey, it's a lift. I'm not complaining. I'm not dissing against rough country. They make a good product, and I do have a video coming up on the rough country lift review. It's about 6 months old, and I'm going to show you a little bit of wear and tear that it already has, and the shocks that come with it and what's going on with them. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos and more information. And every Monday I try to post up like a little webisode of like Cherokee Garage. It's just me doing like random stuff. So it's pretty interesting. If you ain't checked my vlog channel out, go ahead and check it out. It will be in the description if you want to see my boring life on YouTube. But that was my opinion on lifting your Jeep and what you should do. My opinion, if you don't have much money, do what I did. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up.